Hey guys, I just saw a very unfortunate situation that took place in Canada, and I wanted to say to everyone, that I hope that that brother made it home safely. I hope that he now has a different perspective and a better sense of what to do and what not to do while you're out in the world. That part where the young guy went like, he did this little move and shit and got knocked out like right there. That does not reflect him. That reflects his camp, and he might need to go get the Dream Chasers or the 305 Killers.
When these dudes make enemies, I'm going to just be real. When these guys make enemies, this ain't like back in the day. I think that the last time that we seen people probably make peace was probably Drake and Meek Mill. And apparently that wasn't peace because Rick Ross was still feeling some type of way about it. So maybe we need to rewind before that. I think that the last time that we seen rappers that was beef and make peace was probably Jay-Z and Nas. Jay-Z and Nas, and then they did the song Black Republican right after that, and everybody forgot about it. I think that that's the last time that we seen rappers make peace. When these dudes beef nowadays, they beef for life, forever. I don't think that there's any forgiveness. Oh, 50 and Fat Joe. 50 and Fat Joe maybe. Because, I guess 50 said that he didn't really have beef with Fat Joe, but he didn't like the fact that Fat Joe had sided with Ja Rule when Fat Joe had came home from jail or whatever. But when these dudes beef, they beef for life. Now, it's weird. It is so weird that people control whole countries and whole cities that you can't go to because you don't like a particular person or you took a stance against a particular person. That's A. B, how is Rick Ross, and he been in the game and in the industry for as long as he been in the industry, how is Ross, who got a private plane, A, because he was in one of the whole beef things that him and Drake was going back and forth was how much money that he got more, or, the fact that he was competing on a financial level with Drake. That was the trolling back and forth that they was doing prior to the whole thing really setting off between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Here's my question. How do you have a private plane, take the private jet, doing the whole Instagram video on the private jet and all of that, but then you're not wise enough? And this is what makes me start to question the validity of a lot of these guys. Is it pump faking? Is it fronting? I think that Ross got a significant amount of money. I don't think that he's pump faking or fronting at all. But how can you be walking around in Canada, either you just trying to make a point to say that you a real dude and it went real, real bad? Because everybody in this camp got beat up, including Ross. Ross, I will give him a little bit of credit. He did eat that punch. He didn't see it coming, apparently, but he ate that punch. And then he was backing up and he was looking weird when he was before his mans got knocked out right next to him. And then his bodyguard got beat the hell up, but he did eat the punch. I will give him that. But how do you walk around this long and be doing this many shows and then you engulfed in different beefs with different people? And we know 50 don't like him, right? 50 has hated this dude for a long time. And it's wild. I'll just say it. It's absolutely wild. It's insane that you got all of this money, you got all of these properties, you got this private plane, but you don't have a sufficient enough security. You didn't put that as a part of your rider that, hey, my people is coming here and I got to have an allowance for my people and security, or you also, I got to have security and you got to have security. That should have been a requirement. The whole venue should have been locked up, locked down, all of that talking. And then he was going back and forth with the dudes like he was tough. We know that we living in a social media era, so everybody is going to capture it. The minute that the dude threw the punch and he ate that punch, I knew that it's security, because dudes get courage. Dudes get courage and they start moving a little differently. And you also got to remember, nobody is untouchable. Nobody is untouchable. And I don't care if you're a content creator. I don't care if you're a rapper. I don't care, whatever. One thing I will definitely give Drake when it comes to the security, that dude will move around like the president. Drake move around like the president. You ain't even coming close unless you in the venue and you went through all of the metal detectors and all of that stuff. But as far as him getting caught up or get caught slacking and all of that, dude got high walls. You might shoot this little higher security guard that's standing outside or something like that, or whatever that beef was. But you're not even getting close to him. Ross out here eating punches. Come on, man. When you get past a certain amount of money, you're not supposed to be eating punches. And then your security getting stomped out. And man, that's crazy. And so 50 Cent, obviously, in his ongoing beef with Ross. And I think that's also part of the reason, aside from the fact that I think 50 has always kind of rolled with Drake. He's never really said anything negative about Drake. He's always given him props with regard to his music and stuff. 50 always gonna troll no matter what, but I think that's part of the reason why Fifth sided with Drake in this whole beef thing and this 20v1 beef thing is because the enemy of your enemy is your friend. The enemy of your enemy is your friend. And so if he can make sure that he put a battery in somebody else's back in order to go in and take care of some beef and get some stuff done, then that's what he gonna do. Ross, he put himself out there. And it wouldn't even have been that big of a deal if he wasn't in the beef. And he probably would have been able to move around and make way more money as a result of it. But when you leverage beef in order to get more visibility and it's not even authentic, the cracks will start to show. People will start to pay attention. I don't think that he's as relevant. Obviously, we know he's not as relevant musically as a Kendrick Lamar. He has a phenomenal discography. I'm a fan of his discography. I was just riding around in Aston Martin music just over the weekend, because I was cruising in it. But I just keep it music, man. I just think that it's ignorant that all of these people is running around. They all rich as hell. They all making a whole bunch of money, and they supposed to be running it up and getting it for their family. But they still clout chasing like they 19, 20 years old, 21 years old. We seen what happened with Julio. And then my man came through and dropped the video, and that had the Don Julio in the video, and he talking the whole time. And it's like, man, these young boys is wild out here. They wild. And it's 350 million people inside the United States. And then you add Canada on top of that. The risk is too high for you to be out here looking and moving crazy. I'm not even sure that I want to went out to Vancouver. That's just some money I would have turned down, man. You got to have president-like security in order to have Ross over there in Canada, but he over there arguing and he inciting it. And then they get mashed out. You can't incite the war and then get mashed out. I know Drake is probably laughing his ass off, and it don't look like any of the people that was in that video was a part of the OVO camp in general, but those are just straight up fans that love that dude. And they love the fact that he put on for the city, and you out there moving crazy? Stop it, bro. Stop it. Anyways, I'm curious as to what y'all think. Do y'all think that 50's troll was justified and him standing like this? Or do you think that it was not justified and we all just need to grow the fuck up and mature more? I love you. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Also, Tej Hanley. Link to the Tej Hanley is in the description. Thank you, Tej Hanley, for sponsoring what we got going on over here at the Anton Daniels channel. Link to Tej Hanley. If you need to get your Tej Hanley, they got 40% off plus 20% off for life. That link is in the description. And then last but not least, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. The best time to tap into the Patreon is the beginning of the month. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later.